Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pash On Podcast. Let's get started with your host, Brian Pash.
Hi, this is Brian Pash, and welcome to another exciting interview with industry leaders. And man, today's conversation is a hot one, a legacy of problems that haven't been solved. But Steve White and Micah are here to talk about ways that they're solving the age-old question of attribution as new tech comes to market. So I have Steve White, CEO of Clarivoy, Micah Burkholz, VP of Sales. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here.
Thank you for having us.
So let's start at the high level. Dealers have been frustrated for years. Every 20 group meeting, someone brings up, 50% of my marketing's working. I just don't know what 50%. But I've been hearing that for 15 plus years. And of course, no one's come up with a solution. I built Visadash trying to help dealers understand analytics. But analytics in itself only shows a piece of the shopper journey, and it's anonymized. So we can't understand when maybe one person is on their mobile phone, they're at their work computer, they're at their desktop or iPad at home, and we have devices in different locations. And well, today, Clarivoy has the most robust automotive-specific identity graph that is giving your dealer customers insights into which marketing is working, what's the pattern of behavior. So Steve, at a high level, because I know Mike and I have been working for years on trying to find answers in analytics, but there was huge gaps, right? Your identity graph and your pixel is more robust. So explain to dealers who just are not familiar with your automotive shopper identity graph, how does that elevate their ability to know how their marketing is working and who's on their website?
Yeah, I think at a super high level, what we're able to do, because we're able to match anonymous shoppers to offline sales, is we're able to show the entire consumer purchase journey. So from when they started like 90 days ago all the way until they actually purchased. And so it's every single touch point along the way. And the other unique thing is, we've got our tracking code on every major North American website in North America. And so, think places like Auto Trader, Car Gurus, Cars, etc. And so we're able to weave that into to that kind of that purchase journey, which is pretty unique to Clarivoy in that capability.
Steve, one of the biggest questions, and I'm not sure why dealers keep on asking this, Mikey, you've heard this, it's like, hey, if I have a good paid search strategy, can I cut out my third-party marketplaces, right, Micah? How many times have we heard that, in a dealer meeting, right?
All the time. Every single 20 group, every single meeting we've had with any large dealer group, they're like, we'll just get rid of them all, and it won't even affect our sales. And you just shake your head.
Yeah, I talked to Alex Vetter, CEO of Cars Commerce, and he's like, Brian, I spend my whole life helping merchandise cars and do dealer reviews and make the marketplace an exciting place. And I'm getting no love. Why am I the target? Yet we know that Google overspending, Google waste. No one's holding Google accountable. No one's holding Facebook accountable. And so it's like the kicking the dog, when you're in a bad mood. So Steve, you see the entire journey, where people come from. Isn't it true that the marketplaces in some or many cases are more visited than the dealer's website in the shopping journey, meaning the number of times a marketplace site is consulted?
Most definitely. And in some cases, they never visit the dealer's website. We've got purchase journeys that show that. So yeah, they play a huge role.
And I'll
So-
tell you, Brian, that right there has been a major eye opener for me, especially from the analytics background to now taking a look at the de-anonymized shopper, looking at the sheer percentage of cars sold bought via third-party providers that never went to the dealership website. The sheer percentage was astronomical. We did a spot check of a sample size of some of the dealers, and anywhere from 30 to 40% in some cases never even went to the dealership website. And when we start talking about overall strategy of cutting out third-party marketplaces, you're cutting off your own nose to spite your face in those cases.
Yeah, listen, since I'm in the industry, my shopping journey is not normal, but my brother Scott, who lives near me, he bought a car the other day, and I said, well, how'd you buy it? He said, oh, I just went on to cars.com, found it, called the dealer, bought it, and they're shipping it to me. That was it. I mean, it was the car that he wanted, and he wasn't, put off by the way the dealer treated him very well. So, Steve, this is part of like the aha moments I think that modern retailing is going to start to realize, is that there's some bad assumptions or old stereotypes. Spending more on Google and Facebook. I think dealers now know doesn't have a incremental equivalent, doubling your Google spend isn't going to double your car sales. It's really finding where consumers are shopping, how they're shopping, getting the message in front of them. And I think one of the other pieces about the identity graph that you've built, dealers only know what's in the lead form or in their DMS. They don't know any other touch points. They don't know where they're shopping outside. And I think that's so important to know the shopping intensity. When someone is out and someone comes to their website, you'll know how many sites they visited, right? You know that that's a very intense shopper. And one of the things I learned recently, for those very intense shoppers, right, you can even deploy an OTT video campaign to really increase the dealer's reach for the people that they don't know, but who are, sending all the signals through this whole network that they're ready to buy.
Right. Yeah. It comes down to being able to, enrich that customer profile with a variety of different device identifiers, so that you can reach them in different platforms, which is exciting. And then once you've done that, then you kind of create this kind of perfect kind of closed loop environment in which you can actually measure it as well at the ad exposure level. Because, of course, in environments like CTV, you typically can't click through to a website. So you have to rely on the ad exposure. And so, it's super exciting. And I think, in fact, I feel like programmatic and CTV is kind of the modern day equivalent of the newsletter because of its ability from an addressability perspective. You don't have to worry about like not getting into someone's inbox. I mean, if you're on the big screen TV, then that consumer, 9 times out of 10 is seeing your ad. So
Steve, let me dive in here a minute, because again, Mike and I have been in hundreds of dealer meetings for VistaDash. Mike was with that company and, is proud to build that product. But, dealers always said, hey, I don't know if my TV ads are being shown. I don't know if linear is working. With connected TV, right, you can now get these people who are on your website. Because of our identity graph, we know what homes they're in, we know what devices, and we're pushing your ad, and we can tell you that ad was exposed into that home or onto that device. And then you could show them, of the cars that were purchased this month or over a period, what percentage of those people were exposed to a CTV ad, what percentage of those were exposed to Facebook or Google. Woo! Connor will have to cut that out. Okay. So Steve, is this like a breakthrough for video marketing that instead of here's my PMA,
Right.
I know not everyone's shopping, but I have to spray and pray.
Mhm.
Isn't this building a dealer's own first party data audience and audience insights from your identity graph?
Yeah, it's a huge breakthrough. And ironically, it's the whole conversation around third-party cookie deprecation has really focused more companies to get better at first-party activation and identity resolution. So it's kind of funny how that's kind of been the byproduct of all of that.
So Micah, you've been helping dealers understand the traffic to their website by source, what's engaged or not. But Visadash was missing some pieces, right? Didn't see what was going on outside the dealer's website, didn't have all the device ID data. Analytics wasn't meant to perfectly unify customers across all their devices. And more importantly, the ability to lock into the DMS and do a transactional comparison. So now you move over to Clarivoy and all of these missing pieces are filled. Yeah. Smart hire, by the way, Steve. So Michael, what's the biggest revelation as you're talking to dealers now and you explain to them that all the blind spots that used to be, just, hey, you had to put up with them are for the most part being resolved? What are you learning? What are you hearing from the dealers who now hear from you that there's a new sheriff in town?
The full circle picture now has been it's night and day. When you're looking at just limited view from analytics and last touch in CRM, you cannot make true marketing decisions based upon that without having the full picture. So when we start looking at the full touch points, whether it be on average 31 to 51 touch points for initial lead to actual sale, and what the shoppers actually did offsite, now that gives you the real ability to see who is affecting and who's not affecting all those marketing outcomes. And I think that's one thing that we talked about for years together is what are the actual outcomes? What are the true results? And when you're looking at just analytics, the only outcomes you can see is the hand raiser. When you're looking at resolving the anonymous shopper, you are now looking at the analytical aspect of it and the true outcome of a sale, tying up that sale to that marketing piece, whether it be Facebook influence, a tier 1 site, whether it be a third-party provider site, whatever those touch points were. Now you can say, this was included in that journey, this was excluded, I am spending X on this that was not included in that journey. I now need to make a true decision whether or not that is going to be a part of my moving forward marketing mix. So the insights and the ability to take actionable actions from this data is far superior than what I've seen in the past.
Right. And Steve, just for clarification, you mentioned your identity tag being really on so many different sites. How about tier 1? Do you have visibility of consumers who may have started at tier 1, went to a third party, or went to the dealer and third party? Are we seeing any tier 1 shopper visits in the identity graph journey?
We certainly can see, the click-throughs from tier 1, but that's kind of our next frontier is partnering with the OEMs to get our tag installed on the OEM websites so that we can have even a more robust consumer purchase journey showing that activity as well.
Love it. Love it. This comes, the development of this platform, right, Steve? It's taken a number of years to get the partnerships in place, the data analytics in place, to develop the identity graph. And now you have the ability to generate audiences to push out to connected TV. Those audiences can be pushed to Trade Desk, right, to a marketing cloud or, Amazon, which means dealers, instead of buying anonymous third-party audiences can really buy audiences that are the highest quality, right? Because they've already been to the dealer site. They're already shopping. You're not spraying and praying. You're not using modeled audiences. You're using, hey, you know, all those 15,000 people came to your website. Yeah, you only got 250 leads, but guess what? I know who the majority of these people are.
Right.
And since they were on your website and acting like shoppers, let's reach out. This is truly what I would call a perfect use case of identity resolution and first-party data to give dealers their own first-party data audiences. I love it. And then the attribution reporting.
Yeah.
Steve, as part of your reporting, dealers are always wondering, do I have any campaigns that are real dogs? Like, am I spending money in certain areas that they're just not showing up in the journey? Is that part of the feedback loop? Like, it seems that you're spending a lot of money in this strategy, but we're not seeing a lot of customers who are buying in that path. Is that an insight? Because I think today, and dealers are trying to cut costs and increase sales, so they really need to find the dogs. Does the report do any bones that would call out the dogs?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got campaign level reporting, so it'll show which campaigns are performing. And, you know, we can even get down to the keyword level. So we can actually show the actual keyword that led to the sale of a vehicle. So, you know, enabling dealers who, you know, see some, you know, impact from paid search, really zeroing in on what the particular keywords, and then being able to dump the rest of the keywords that they haven't had sales, you know, for 6-9 months on that particular keyword set.
All right. Well, in today's data-driven technology opportunities, Clarivoy has truly risen to the top for helping dealers understand attribution, influence, helping them redefine their marketing strategy, and then also helping them to fish in waters where it's not so crowded. And I think your partnerships with streaming connected TV is just one example of giving dealers new tools to communicate and be front-facing with the people who are on the website. Steve, if someone wanted to talk to the handsome Micah Burkholz, what's the best website for them to go to? I know they can reach out to Micah on LinkedIn, but if they want to book a demo or something, what's the best website?
Micah at clarivoy.com.
Okay, that's it.
Email there. Or obviously you can visit our website, clarivoy.com, and we've actually just posted some new testimonial videos up there, so you can see kind of firsthand how some of our progressive dealers are utilizing Clarivoy as well.
Great. Well, for the dealers who are listening, I hope you enjoyed this conversation, because this is part of the series, The Road to MRC. The Modern Retailing Conference is in Palm Beach again, November 17th, 18th, 19th. This is the conference where people go to learn, to be challenged, to see breakthroughs. We're not talking about how to answer a lead. We're not here talking about the basics, whether you should have a BDC or not, or how to greet customers. We're talking about the next level of performance, revenue opportunity, and efficiencies that can happen through sales and service, through marketing, through first-party data management, CDPs. We're talking about AI and AI applications. This is the conference that attracts the top dealer groups and the leaders of companies. So you're talking with experienced people that can help solve your problems. So I encourage you to go to modernretailingconference.com, book your tickets, book your hotel room. It sells out every year. And Micah, you know, the weather in Palm Beach in November is not too bad. What would you say?
Not too bad for a kid here from Minnesota. It's not bad at all. Yeah, bring your
I know. So dealers in Minnesota have even more motivation in November. It gets cold up in that Minnesota area. And I would say, out of all my dealer visits over the years going to Maury's in Minnesota, there have been the coldest dealer visits on record. So.
by temperature, not by temperament. Yeah.
Yes, no, temperate, very warm, very,
Yeah.
it's Minnesota friendly, or what do they call that?
Minnesota nice.
Minnesota nice. There it was. Well, gentlemen, thanks for jumping on. Thanks for supporting dealer education. Look forward to hosting you in November at the Modern Retailing Conference. But dealers, don't wait. Yes, the conference is a few months away, but more importantly, right now you could be making better strategic decisions on your marketing and marketing strategy to help increase profits and to move those cars on the lot. So make sure you reach out to Micah and or visit the Clarivoy website. And if this is the first time you're listening to this podcast, you should know that there's dozens of interviews that I do with technology leaders, innovators, people who are helping dealers create a better customer experience and to be more profitable. So just search for the Brian Pash podcast and listen to all of the speakers that are coming up at the Modern Retailing Conference. These are great to listen to in the car, share with your friends, but most importantly, invest in educating yourself to stay ahead of the curve because things are moving even more quickly than we might think as we move to a data-driven retail platform. Thanks, gentlemen, and I'll see everyone next time on an exciting podcast interview.